So you're telling me there's a chance?
Are you going to me?
I would certainly like to.
Hold it! Billy, I need your help, man. All right. Axel!
The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
Welcome to your Tuesday night here on World Class Bullshitters. I'm your host, Jeff Hicks, and I am back and refreshed from my travels over in Cedar Point. So folks, join us Thursday for all that. But I am not alone tonight because we have a wonderful show, an exciting show, something I've been excited to talk about since Friday, Spider-Man Brand New Day. But we're not alone. Tonight we are joined by the man who's known for many things, but you know him all the way from the Ripverse. Say hello to Andy Andrew.
What is going on, Jeff? What is going on, chat? It is good to be back from Bell County Comic-Con down in beautiful butthole nowhere, Belton, Texas. It was a fantastic weekend with some fantastic people. We love that convention over at Ripverse because the vendors are fantastic, the staff is fantastic, everybody's just super nice. Nobody acts like a dick like people tend to at cons sometimes. And it probably helps that you're not crammed in there like 18 sardines in a can that's supposed to fit 5. But no, it was a good time, and I'm glad to be back. It's been a busy month already, but there are a lot of exciting things happening, and one of them is this show.
Damn right. So exciting that the music's coming back. But we have another host to join us tonight. I don't know why we'd call him a guest. He's the host of the show. Say hello to Mr. Aaron Sparrow.
Hey, do I not get theme music?
Oh, you don't hear that?
Oh, okay. I mean, I was hoping for Cult of Personality or, something.
Well, if you'd like to pay the royalty fee to Living Color, sure, we'll play you that song. And I'll use the last theme song, The Toilet Made of Solid Gold.
See what that Andrew's holding up his copy of Kneel Before Doomface. I would have liked to have been with you at Bell County slinging copies of Kneel Before Doomface. It is absolutely my favorite con. They treat you really well there, and the crowd is great. Love that show.
Send me a link. I'll work it next year.
It's freaking go. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for people to be like, hey, folks, info@worldclassbullshitters.com. Recommend a con. Now, I'm sorry, but we probably won't go to I don't know, Timbuktu, and we probably won't go to the middle of nowhere. But if you live in a pretty big area and your con is world class, shoot us an email to info@worldclassbullshitters.com. I will get your email and I'll check out the show. And if we can make it happen, we'll be there. I'll be at the Cincinnati Comic Expo in about a month, September 25th through the 27th. And I'll be over on the East Coast in October. So join me now, or join me there then. I'm sorry, folks. I've been traveling a lot. I am tired. But
join Jeff right now, in the future and in the past, all throughout the time stream.
Yes. Speaking of streams, folks, we couldn't do this stream without you guys. We have a lot of people that are just joining us. What we're going to ask of everybody is to hit that thumbs up button right now, folks. If you can do it, there you go. That is what the notification is here to tell you, folks. Pavlovian, if anything.
Hang on.
Hello? Is this my DoorDash order? We have a new member, Just Joe 9697. Thank you very much, Joe, for being a member of the channel. Greatly appreciate that. Shout out to listeners Clone Geek, Room of Requirement Class. Shout out to Jamie Jackson. Shout out to Shrebels08, P-Dubs, your P-Dubs shines regardless. You do shine regardless. Hail to Nathan Simmons. Shout out to Crouching Taylor, Hidden Swift, Overkill 161, and a whole lot more. So we have our word of the day. It comes from Shrubbles08. The word of the day is Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben's Mystery Tour. Uncle Ben Horizon. For a few Uncle Bens more. Spider-Man. Beyond New Uncle Ben. Super Uncle Ben. And Live Long or Uncle Ben Hard. Well, hopefully for May's sake, Uncle Ben is. But we're not that kind of podcast.
Well, I mean, he's been dead for a while, so he's pretty hard.
Yeah.
Is
Rigor mortis.
I mean, wouldn't I was gonna say, yeah, wouldn't they call him a stiff at that point?
I always just think of Return to the Living Dead when the guy gets rigor mortis before he's actually like loses his consciousness. Andrew, I know you've never seen it, but watch it. It's the best zombie movie ever made.
All right. Wait, Night of the Living Dead?
Return of the Living Dead.
Oh, okay. So I've seen Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, Night of the Living Dead's important, but I wouldn't recommend it to younger audiences, and I wouldn't recommend it to people that are trying to get into horror. I mean, there's this misnomer, and I'm guilty of it with Spider-Man, and we'll talk about that in a minute, where, just start at the beginning, or just start with the classics. I wouldn't necessarily
Not
show
ideally.
Night of the Living Dead to everybody. It's a relic of its time. It's a great piece of art. It's important. But if I'm trying to convince you that horror movies are worth your time, I want to show you something memorable and gory and a little naughty and sexy at the same time. And Return of the Living Dead has all of that shit. So you got to watch that movie, dude. Like, I can't recommend it enough. Just for the graveyard dance scene alone.
Which one is it that has the chick on the cover?
That's part 3.
Okay, I tried to get an action figure line going once when I worked at a toy company. We were trying to do like a Movie Maniacs type line, and that was one of the ones that I pitched because I was like, this is a pretty iconic character, and it's it's got to be a pretty cheap license to get.
Yeah, I mean, even the original one only has like 1 or 2 characters that they ever licensed from it: the Tarman Zombie and maybe Linnea Quigley. But
the guy that's like super green, wearing the it's kind of like got his head to the side, brown hair. Can't remember what his name is, but
I'm thinking of the Tarman Zombie, which is brains and all that.
Yeah, that one's
zombie number 5. I don't know.
Wait a minute, Jeff. You talking about a zombie covered in tar whose whole purpose in the movie is just to look dumb as hell?
Yes, and Miguel A. Nunez Jr. loves that character.
That's a great character.
I know he's in the movie. But folks, sit yourselves down. We are going to be talking about the Spider-Man Brand New Day, and I'm going to be ranking the Spider-Man films because, Aaron, you haven't seen the new one, right? I'm the only one that's seen it.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of going on Thursday.
I'm going Friday.
For everybody that has the hesitation of, superhero fatigue, and I got to sit this one out and listen to all these reviews, don't let those people judge or dictate if you watch this movie. Because take it from me, I've read these books. I know this shit. And I don't mean just like, I read the greatest hits, or, I read J. Michael Straczynski's run. Like, I've read pretty much all this shit that exists. And I don't mean just amazing. I mean spectacular, all of it. So we might not have 1 million subscribers yet, but we may not be as cynical as other people. But I know the character. And so I know what I'm talking about when it comes to a review. So with that in mind, before I do tell you what I think of the movie, make up your mind before you listen to me tell you about it. Because it's ultimately your money, your time, and, well, it's going to be your experience with it. But hopefully you've made your decision while we finish up our words of the day, and we'll talk about that in just a few moments. I am very excited to talk about this film. But let's give some more Uncle Ben titles. Like, here's a gross one, Uncle Ben Juice.
Uncle Ben in Little China.
I don't know why that made me think Uncle Ben in Thailand, and I was like, that's a whole other movie.
That sounded like that'd be a whole other thing for sure. But I was just
that's a David Carradine picture.
No, I was just connecting it with Uncle Ben's rice.
Damn it, Jeff! You know what his publicist said. He was there investigating some yakuza and some cults, and he got mixed up, and they're probably foul play. He definitely.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you this. I am not a man who has ever committed a serious crime. I'm lame in that regard. I once paid my parking ticket before I got home. But my point is, I'm clearly going to be believing that there's a crime where you set the guy up to make it look like he died jacking it. Like, that's the foul play. I want to know what the motive is.
Jagging it, jack.
I want to know what the motive is of the Yakuza to set up David, are they that pissed off about the whitewashing of the show Kung Fu? Like, only transgression, or maybe they don't like Kill Bill. Now, I don't really enjoy the film that much, but I'm not going to make it look like an actor died in embarrassing, nefarious circumstances.
I try to picture just the smoke-filled room of the Yakuza bosses sitting around going, David Carradine is in town. How do we get him? How do we get him really good?
I was about to say, Yakuza-san, we make him look like he's jerking it, but we kill him.
Wow.
Andrew, if you don't know, David Carradine died of autoerotic asphyxiation, so it's a thing.
Standing on a chair with a rope around his neck, choking himself while he was choking it.
Yeah.
That's remarkable.
He died, so...
I like the idea, though, I like what we would have said. He died of autoerotic asphyxiation, and Andrew would be like in a car?
Yeah.
Man,
really
that
turned
is
on by your Nissan, and...
that's pretty wild.
I just like the idea that like you were innocent enough, Andrew, that you don't know what the term means, you've never heard it before, and you're thinking like, oh, like when people are like in the garage and they don't turn the car off and the carbon monoxide comes in.
Yeah, Script, we're teaching Andrew what autoerotic asphyxiation is.
Oh, the George Carlin effect.
Wow.
I guess it affects him too.
Well, he coined it as scarfing, but it really went down to like David Carradine and a couple of other celebrities.
Yeah, that's what
we
we're
were
talking about, David Carradine.
And guys, I won't be able to stay too long tonight, I'm really off my game. I've had strep throat for the last couple of days,
Oh,
so it's really wearing me out. But I wanted to pop in and say hello and say hello to all the nice patrons and viewers in the chat.
Okay, so, folks, there is a lot of stuff to address tonight, and I'm going to get to you guys all in a minute. But since Aaron is on borrowed time for today, not in general, he's not, pulling the
No ticking clock on it.
Knock on wood. As long as I don't cross the Yakuza, I should be fine.
Yeah, folks, if Aaron dies under nefarious autoerotic circumstances, it was a plant. Somebody did it to him. It wasn't organic. He was murdered.
I'm getting an echo. I'm getting an echo off of you, Jeff. Can anyone else hear that?
yeah, I can hear the echo.
A little, yeah.
But I don't think it's from me because I hear myself.
Yeah, I hear the echo from you. I hear it from Aaron. I don't hear it from me.
Well, it means you're not the one echoing.
Let me mute my sound. Let's see if that.
Let me see
Then
here.
that's everybody talk.
Well, I'll continue to talk, and I don't hear the echo anymore.
Oh, no, I don't hear the echo anymore either.
So I think we solved it down to 2. Folks, this is the Clue episode of World Class Bullshitters. Was it Colonel Mustard?
It was Squirt in the kitchen with the typewriter.
You would be the only person I know to still use a typewriter unironically, Script.
Well, I mean, I do have a few, so yeah.
See? I wasn't even trying to make a joke.
Yeah. I am running out of ribbons though, so that's a problem.
It was Professor Plum in the conservatory with the rope, autoerotic asphyxiating himself.
Christopher Lloyd did not choke himself out, thankfully. Now, folks, we're here to talk about a anomaly tonight because the numbers are out, and Spider-Man, in record time, has crossed into the billion-dollar territory. I would like to say I'm surprised by this news, but I'm not. Spider-Man has been the number one superhero for quite some time, has the crossover appeal that most other fictional characters do not have, and this past weekend goes to show you a few things. People will go out to the movie theater if the movie is worthwhile, if it's an event they want to be a part of, if it's something popular enough, if the film looks good enough, or if it's just the right weekend. I think Spider-Man hit all those notes, therefore crossed over into nearly $1 billion in a single weekend. But let's talk about the thing in the room right now. Does this change the course for superhero movies moving into Endgame, guys? Is this going to get people pumped? Are they going to be hyped? Or are they just going to realize I really like Spider-Man and not everything gets a pass?
I don't think it's going to change anything because we saw this happen with the last 2 Spider-Man films that came out too. Far From Home, which was, pardon my French, I know in the chat, absolute worthless, steaming dog shit. And I freaking hate that movie. And then you had No Way Home, which was honestly pretty mid, with the exception of the 3rd act. And both of those still made gangbusters in terms of money, but it didn't carry over into the other like main MCU films that follow them, because people will show up for Spider-Man. They're showing this right now. People have not been showing up for MCU films for the last couple of years. We can see this. Even ones that were like decent or better. I maintained that Thunderbolts was actually a good movie, but nobody cared. And so nobody went to see it, right? People weren't interested in the MCU right now. They're still in the apathy phase. But you know what people are basically universally always interested in? More Spider-Man. And so they showed up for Spider-Man in droves. The thing has already made almost $1 billion worldwide.
That's
For
crossed
one
it already.
weekend. Has it?
Yep.
That's so superhero fatigue isn't a thing. Give people what they're interested in and make it decent, and it'll make money.
Well, don't worry, Andrew. You know, it's like right now you've got a popular white male mainline superhero in a movie whose trailer showed off things that people wanted to see, like some other villains and things like that. And it got people excited and people went to the theater. So all of a sudden, superhero fatigue is gone. But don't worry, it's the next girl boss movie that they force down your throat that absolutely fails the box office. All of a sudden, superhero fatigue will be roaring right back.
Yeah,
You know,
that'll
we just had
be it.
superhero fatigue 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when nobody went to see Supergirl. So,
Right.
you
Well,
know,
the fact
like, that's
is, nobody
always
was
the
really
excuse.
interested in Supergirl, and then
Yeah,
on
but
top
that's
of
the
that,
excuse.
Supergirl wasn't a very good movie.
That's the excuse that they trot out anytime it's not what the people actually want. Anytime they're trying to control what people want and tell them what they want, that's superhero fatigue. Whenever they give the audience what they're asking for, all of a sudden, oh, where did it go?
Smart people know better. Like us, people who are world class. We know that superhero fatigue is not a thing. Bad content fatigue, or things nobody asked for and fewer people are interested in, there's fatigue for that. But again, make something that's even just decent, but it's something that excites people. It's going to be successful. Now, I haven't seen this movie yet, and I'm going to be seeing it Friday. And I'm partially glad that I waited, because a lot of people, at least that I know, have been saying it's like really good. And I'm glad I'm getting to see it in IMAX. So, and
Well, I'll tell you
I
this,
traditionally do not like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but I'm looking forward to it.
The IMAX might disappoint you. It's really just a gimmick to sell more tickets at a higher price, because visually this movie's great. And I'll go as far to say this is contender for best Spider-Man movie, because it's everything the comic is. It's the hero gets beat down, the hero gets back up. It's a small-scale story. The relationships are accurate to the book. It's got everything you're going to want in a superhero movie. Now, I have one critique, or actually it's not even a critique, it's a question I have, because this movie sets up another really popular superhero team from
I already know
Marvel.
about it kind of pseudo setting up the X-Men. I know I asked if we could keep spoilers to minimum, but I do know that Jean is in it, and I know that it sets up the X-Men. I know that much.
But the problem, and this is the only complaint I'll have, because the rest of this review is going to be oddly positive. If this is the start of the X-Men, they have a problem, because you're supposed to understand the mutant versus human dynamic, where the mutants are outcasts, they're looked down upon because they're different, discriminated against for many reasons, and they just want human rights. This bitch is a terrorist, just like in that stupid Captain America show. And so I don't understand how any human would forgive her or push for mutant equality when they're literally attacked by her because her and her sister are shitheads, and then they got captured and caught for research purposes, but they still almost kill a good chunk of New York, but we're supposed to forgive that. That's my thing. Like, other than that, no real criticisms or complaints. But
I don't think
Oh,
we're
wait,
supposed to forgive that at all.
They
I think
have Sarah Gray in this movie.
Yeah,
They
I don't
did.
think they're supposed to forgive that at all. I think that's
Nobody
going to
knows
be
she
one of the.
exists.
I think that's going to be one of the arguments against mutant kind in general is the fact that they are uncontrollable and they can be terrorists, and we should not forgive them for their actions. And I think that's might be the narrative they're going for.
What I just meant is the audience. Like, I'm supposed to look at a good person that could be misunderstood or confused or just having one bad day. But, like, I watched two people use superpowers to manipulate people and then eventually use powers to almost, like, wipe out a chunk of New York. Why am I, as the viewer, supposed to go, oh, Jean Grey, I recognize her. I'm supposed to sympathize with her plight. It's like, I don't dislike you because you're a mutant. I think you're a bad person because you just tried to kill a bunch of people because you're unhappy with one person. How are you supposed to be a superhero? Like, that's my only thing as an audience member.
I will say that is, for a writer perspective, that is a really good dark place to start from to try and build them back up to be a hero again. Like, because that's a good challenge. Like, if you can overcome that, that's writing chops.
I would say it's a good place to do a nice bait and switch. Whereas once you get to the X-Men, since the rumored villain is Mr. Sinister, I would say that this Jean Grey isn't Jean Grey. This is a Madeline Pryor clone that escaped that thinks it's Jean Grey. That's how I would get out of it.
That's one method too, yeah.
Such a negative backlash. Even if I had made the stupid mistake of saying this is Jean Grey and she is a terrorist, but you're supposed to feel bad for her because women in the Marvel Universe don't have any accountability for their actions. They get told, they'll never understand what you sacrificed for them. Even though, you mentally tortured a town to the point that children didn't want to get out of their beds and that women were begging you to kill them. But they'll never understand. You got to stop calling them terrorists, Jeff. You need to step up.
This is a big problem with the X-Men in, I guess for lack of a better term, the modern day. And the current comic books have this issue as well. And most of the X line at Marvel right now is pretty dog water. But the problem is the kind of typical like mutant oppression like bit doesn't work anymore. It really doesn't. Like, you can't look at me with a serious face, look me in the eye, and me know how many times the X-Men and other mutant factions have saved not just the world, but I don't know, the universe, and publicly do so, and then say, oh, but everybody's still like super against mutants and blah, blah, blah. And like, yeah, I get it. Like the whole Krakoa thing, because they had the whole ethno-state deal because some stupid desk jockey writers thought that was a good idea. You've got that, and so that could piss off the human population. But by and large, it's a really hard sell to sell the whole, oh, well, mutants are oppressed type of a thing, and make it believable these days. So right off rip, with you presenting the mutants as like bad people, that's going to make it hard to get behind them. And I guess if your goal is to like try and push a mutants or oppressed narrative, I guess you could try that, but like it's kind of their own damn fault if they're acting like bad people.
Yeah,
But
like
I don't
If you
know.
want to use a mutant telepath and not damage one of your heroes that's going into your new franchise right out of the gate, Mesmero is right there. There's other characters that you could use. So I don't understand. I mean, I know that they're trying to jumpstart Destin.
But nobody knows who that is.
Yeah, but
Aaron.
you don't look.
People know who people think they know who Jean Grey is, right? They've at least heard the name, and
Nobody
so
knows who
the name's a
Ramrod
draw.
is. Nobody knows who Boomerang is, But there they are in the movie. But see, Jean Grey's not a draw because they tried to keep it secret.
I'm convinced that a lot of times those things that are like attempted to be kept secret is actually meant to be a like strategic leak to hype people up. Like, oh wow, that's a big deal if that person's in there. And maybe I'm wrong, and that's fine.
Make her Typhoid Mary.
And make her anything. That's my main concern going into this film. That they stack it so much. But I've heard from enough people that it's like, no, it actually doesn't really end up being a problem. It's a very good movie. I'm willing to be impressed and convinced.
Well, I think we got to remember a couple things. First off, it is a superhero movie. It's Spider-Man. It's not high art. Like, when people talk about these comics and other things, let's be honest with ourselves. They're not. I wouldn't want to say Christopher Nolan because I don't really care for his movies as much as other people, but like, you're not going to see like a David Fincher movie. You're not going to go see like, you're just watching Spider-Man. Now that being said, it's Spider-Man.
Doomface is high art, Jeff.
And so is Wokebusters. I mean,
Doomface is high
seriously,
art and Wokebusters, yes.
I just got a call from the Flugelheim Museum in Gotham. So they're about to do a whole expose next to the Corto Maltese display on Wokebusters. So we're good. It is high art. But no, like, this movie doesn't overdo the cameos. It's, if you read Spider-Man comics, it's just how it is. The Punisher and Spider-Man team up for something, and then at the end of the arc, they get back together to pay it off. That's how it works in the movie. Same with the villains. All those villains are just a montage. Everything from the trailer, it's just, that's not a spoiler. It's montage. I've seen some people try to complain like, well, he only fights so-and-so for so long. Yeah, well, the fucking Scorpion's not that big of a deal. Like, that's why I said what I said at the opening of the show. Like, we have to remember something. Recognizability doesn't equal iconic status. Just because you recognize the Scorpion from the cartoon doesn't mean that the Scorpion is the Green Goblin and needs to have a full movie or needs to be put on a pedestal. He's just a gun for hire.
No, nobody's asking for Matt Gargan to headline.
I'm pretty sure the Mahler video was talking about that, and I was just like, it's the fucking Scorpion. Like,
yeah, I don't have 6.5 hours I could pull out of my ass to watch that. Good.
I just don't need somebody's opinion for a comic book movie that I'm going to know better than most people. Because I'm just saying, like, a lot of the critiques I've heard, everybody can have a valid critique. I don't think this is the greatest movie ever made, but I'm surprised how good it is. And like, you could argue it's the best Spider-Man movie. The only thing it's missing is
that's really weird for me to hear out of you.
Yeah, well,
it's really weird to hear, but it has weight.
It's
when
not
it comes
Dan
out of your
Slott's,
mouth.
But it's not Dan Slott's Spider-Man.
Well, that's, okay.
If
So
anything, this feels like the video game from 2018, where it's
so Insomniac Spider-Man.
It's basically Insomniac Spider-Man. And if you like it, you like this. I mean, he's got his connection to Jean DeWolf in the police department, so that's cool.
I understand Jean DeWolf is a 5-foot Latina.
I mean, she was a 5-foot white woman in the book, so,
Was she 5 foot?
Yeah,
Dude,
she's tiny.
Jean DeWolf is not even important. Outside of her most important trait is she got murdered. That's it. Like, that's what I'm talking about with Spider-Man fans. Not every character is so important that they need to be done right. Sometimes they just need to be there. And Jean DeWolf needs to just be there because she's a D-list character that shows up in the 1980s. And then, like, maybe Spider-Man will build a relationship with her to where then she'll get killed and will care. Or they'll just treat it as another character so Spider-Man can have a connection to the police department.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. You're not going to get the Sin Eater storyline in the Spider-Man movies, even as a throwaway. That's not going to happen.
But would you want to? Would you want that?
No. So, there's things that work. I'm just agreeing with you guys in the sense that there's things that work in an episodic format, like the comic books, or like if it was a Spider-Man TV show, it would make more sense, that just don't work in film.
Oh, I agree with that. I think a lot of this movie is able to distill what makes a Spider-Man comic work and put those parts in a film, but then keep its own storyline tight. It really doesn't really meander. I found that the only thing I didn't like was the villain reveal, because the villain is like the main villain story is probably the least interesting part of the first 2 acts. Then once they reveal who it is and you learn her backstory, it just ties everything together. And it is entertaining. It is very good. It's way above what Tom Holland's ever put on film for his Spider-Man. But I don't think it's above criticism. I'm just surprised with how good it is.
Fair enough. Well, hopefully I enjoyed it. If I enjoyed it as much as you did, or as Mary did, or as my buddy Spencer did, my co-host on Foil Variant, Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Central for new comic book reviews, I will be happy as a clam. I want to love this movie. I want to, for the first time since Tom Holland was introduced in Civil War, I would like to enjoy one of his solo Spider-Man films.
By the way, you guys are all wrong. You guys are all wrong. According to the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, Jean DeWolf is 5'8".
Huh?
Yeah.
I don't.
She's
know
so
why
she's
that-
Spider-Man's height.
I don't know why that was important to me. But I was like, there's no way she was 5 foot. I was
Aaron?
like, Lexi is 5 foot, and I'm like thinking of the heights in the comics.
Aaron is a Ravenclaw, I'm guessing then, because he just actually'd all of us.
Well, that's the. I mean, Andrew, you know, from also being an editor, is that you have to look at you have to know the comparative heights of the characters. That they're
No,
standing
it's
next to each
important.
other.
Yeah, because when
Yeah.
you're reviewing people's pages that are in fact, I actually just had this experience on a page that was a beautiful looking page that was turned in on one of our upcoming books today at the Rippaverse, and the artist just did a fantastic job. The layout was great, the detail was great, the character motions were great, but there was one panel where one of the characters looks significantly shorter than they're supposed to be. I was like, no, that does need to get corrected, right? Because that's continuity, right? That's visual continuity. That's important. And
If you're doing
Jeff,
X-Men,
you're
you
an
don't
artist,
want
you
a panel.
understand that.
You don't want a panel where Wolverine and Cyclops are going nose to nose and they're the same height.
Right.
But-
Yeah.
Unless you do a
we're
wide
talking
shot and
MCU,
Cyclops
right?
is so bent down over just to meet his height. Like,
Yeah,
Right,
or
'cause
Wolverine
see,
standing on
that'd
a
be
couple of stack of phone books.
Yeah, that'd be proper comedy, right? Then the next panel or a page turnover, you pull back the shot and it's Scott like leaning forward super low. That way
Or
he's
he's squatting.
actually eye to eye. Yeah.
But you got to look at that with Hugh Jackman. Are we cool with Wolverine being the height he is, or do we want, comic accurate Wolverine? Because I'll take Hugh Jackman. Now, I also do like comic accuracy, don't get me wrong, but I think this one hits it in a way that's never really been hit before. They stopped trying to make Spider-Man realistic in certain ways. And I know you're thinking, they never make him that realistic. They just don't overthink certain things. Like, it just, the
Guys, I'm
Spider-Man
gonna-
tropes don't have to be over-explained.
I'm gonna go ahead and dip. I'm having kind of a coughing fit, so I'm gonna go ahead and say goodnight. But
Get some
enjoy
rest,
all the
buddy.
Spider-Man talk, and I'll see the movie this week, and then Andrew and I will be back to tear it apart next week.
all right. Get well soon, man.
All
All right,
later,
see you,
guys.
man. So, somebody asked in the chat, what about Tombstone? He's in it for about 12 to 15 seconds. But
Barely,
is that
yeah.
all?
He's the same guy who was in Black Lightning series, I think, that actor.
I didn't watch Black Lightning.
I
missed
didn't
nothing.
either.
You missed
I
nothing.
did not watch that.
well, good. I don't want to watch a lot of DC stuff. Especially, that's what I wanted to talk about because I'm making videos. I don't have to worry about too much crossover with the stream. But like, Spider-Man made $1 billion in like a weekend.
Yep.
Superman didn't make half that in its run. And Supergirl made less in its entire run than Spider-Man did in a weekend in America.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that superhero movies are all created equal, and it's interesting how the ones that get the armor nowadays are just guaranteed to flop. Like that window of time where you could skate by, some people would buy into it, they'd get behind the message. Nobody cares about that anymore. I hope we get away from those type of superhero movies and get more shit like this, where this is the type of movie where people dress up to go to the theater and they cheer and they clap and all this other crap. It's great. That's exactly what you want out of a movie going experience. I just want to feel that for every kind of hero movie I watch. Why can't we have? Why couldn't Captain America be fun like this? Because it sucks. No,
I mean, the first 3 Captain America movies were.
Yeah, I agree. And then they got the new one. And does anybody care about the 4th one?
No. I'm good.
Now, let me do something. I normally try to keep things moving. I wanted to address the people in the chat because I do have a lot to say about this Spider-Man movie. And a lot of people, have good questions about the film that I definitely want to answer. So I try to address everything that comes in order, folks. So I apologize if some of them are on order. We'll give you some more titles very soon. But Grizzly Nightmare says, I missed your Saturday morning Ollie's videos. Well, folks, when I went to Sandusky, I stopped at Kroger to get something to eat. And I just so happened to find an Ollie's right next door to the Kroger. So I went to Sandusky, Ohio Ollie's, and I have footage for you very soon. But I found a lot of Shurikopters, and I was very surprised. So let's see. Room of Requirements class, thank you very much. So should we have Jeff recommend spooky movies for us this year? He might have some really good insight. I do have some good insight.
Yes, you should recommend spooky movies for me and Mary.
So here's what I'll do, Mary. First off, thank you for the super chat. I'm gonna go and give you like a legit list, not where I'm gonna try to pull stuff off the top of my head and say, "Oh, you got to watch this; it's classic." I'm gonna give you the stuff that I think is important, but I'm gonna give you the stuff that I also think you guys would enjoy, because there's a lot of like crap horror that gets praised, and here's my hot take for horror fans that might offend some. The movie Sleepaway Camp, I think that movie sucks, and I don't think it's as great as people tell you it is, because they think it has the right message. I think the movie's just really shittily made. So you won't be getting that on my list, but we'll talk about that later. But folks, I'm happy to give you guys horror recommendations all the time. It is my favorite genre to talk about.
Excellent.
Let's see. Uncle Ben Park. I like that one. Let's see. Overkill 161 says the Piles of Dead Uncles channel presents Romancing the Uncle Ben, Uncle Hood, Prince of Bens, Sleeping with Uncle Ben, and Iron Ben. Dead Ben button, please. I forgot we have an Uncle Ben button. Yeah. Where is that on the first tab? Got to take it back here, folks. There we go. So, folks, we're going to press you some Spider-Man buttons in just a minute. But let us go down here and find them. You know, Andrew, it's funny. I swear I've done this show more than once. But sometimes when I'm looking for stuff, I feel like a boomer. Oh,
You know, I totally understand that. There are plenty of times where I'm searching through either my comic shelves or, you know, my video game shelf or whatever. It's like, I know I have this thing here. Where the hell is it?
well,
I
I
get
have
it.
found exactly what I'm looking for here.
Who's that Pokemon? It's Uncle Ben.
R.I.P. Uncle Ben. Oh, and one last thing. Ooh,
That's a cute outfit.
Your husband
Did your
buy
husband
for
get
you?
it to me? Yeah.
See,
Classic line.
when everybody says like, "Oh, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man didn't make enough jokes,"
That was
Yeah,
like
but the
one of
ones
the
he made
three
were
he made, but that one is like a 10 out of 10.
yeah, because it offends people today. That's why I like it.
And that's the point. Spider-Man's
Yeah.
supposed to be an asshole.
Our friend Enrique Vasquez says, "Hail WCBS, an Uncle Ben to die. Kill Uncle Ben. Die another Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben of the Crypt. There will be Uncle Ben and Revenge of the Uncle Ben." Peter, you let me die. That's what I want to see, Uncle Ben. Ooh, that'd be a good comic. Somebody asked me what would I pitch for issue 1000. It would be Peter being haunted by the ghost of Uncle Ben in a zombie comic where Spider-Man fights zombies of the people that died on his watch. There you go. That's my story. And then it was all a dream as he's actually trapped by Mysterio and he's been huffing some, hallucinogenic gas. And then Spider-Man has to shake that off and realize that the people who died in his life are who motivate him to do good. There you go. I wrote this story for you. Thank you, Enrique. Let's see. He says, sorry for those weird accents. YouTube was censoring me. I hope I didn't censor you, man, because I got all those messages in. Right? Clear. So thank you. Let's see. Anything else roll in? We have another message from Crouching Taylor Hidden Swift says, I enjoy... Wait, crap. Where'd it go? There it goes. I enjoy the film. I agree with Mahler that Spider-Man's actions make no sense regarding Jean Grey. Though Spider-Man means well, for me, he's definitely not better than Tobey's first two films at least. Oh, well, thank you very much for sending in the message. Let's talk about that. So, let's see. Spider-Man's actions in terms of, like, letting Jean Grey... He doesn't really let her go. It's not a spoiler. Clearly, I said what I had to say, Andrew. But if you got to earmuff it for a second, don't worry. Now, I don't know what version of Spider-Man these people are talking about half the time. Because while I am more Law and Order about stuff, it's a fictional character, and he acts the way the fictional character would, in my eyes. I don't really see him, like, doing what he does is anything un-Spider-Man-like. So, in regards to that, like, Andrew, mute yourself for a second or go away for a second. Okay,
I mean,
so, like...
Spider-Man's a
Right,
compassionate character, though. That's the thing.
yeah, he's not the Punisher. I think because the people like the Punishers, the Punisher can like do what you wish you could do. Go out and enact justice. We all have that dream. Same with Batman. Sometimes you see shit like, man, if only Batman was real to just crack some skulls, I'd be there. But Spider-Man's not that character. Like, not everything's gonna be. The thing is, we lived through them trying to make Spider-Man like Batman. It was called the Amazing Spider-Man movies. It was grim and dark and shitty. This one is the character acting like the character, and he's not really gonna. Probably he's let characters go in the past. It's just how Spider-Man operates. I don't know what they're complaining about.
The other part too is like there is some sympathy there. It's just not handled as well as it could be, and that would be the fact that Jean Grey, for all intents and purposes, views Spider-Man. Her first encounter with him is that he is essentially an agent in cohorts with the Department of whatever they are, damage control. So she's looking at him just as the enemy that contributed to her sister being missing, and both Spider-Man and her learn the truth, and that's where they come to a reconciliation. I think people are kind of hung up on that one little scene when it comes to the guy and the cab driver. I'm just more concerned is like, does no one in New York know how to like use their brakes, like at all? I mean,
what's the cab driver scene again? I'm just drawing a blank.
It's when the guy is possessed and he walks out into the street and gets hit by a cab.
Oh.
That's the thing that I think is actually a lot of people are hung up on because, I mean, a lot of people assume that guy is dead, and fairly so. And I think that's why it's there because again, when she does her climax thing, she just, spoilers, she just freezes people. She doesn't kill them; they're just frozen. Kind of like what Professor X has done in a few X-Men movies past, So yeah, I think they're hung up on that, and I don't begrudge them for being so because it is kind of a shocking moment, and it's also like a thing that could have had a cool story beat for Peter Parker not being able to say like, why did my spider sense work where I could have saved him before that moment happened, right? Because that would be something that'd be explored in the comics. Spider-Man seeing an opportunity where he could have saved someone and wasn't able to do so, and being guilt driven by that for a few moments.
Well, yeah, that 100%. But also, too, man, you've written films. You know what's up. Like, at what point do you stop trying to plug in more stuff? Because this is one of those things where the internet, like the movie's 2 hours and change, but people have spent 1,000+ hours, however many minutes have elapsed since the film was released. People are breaking down this film as you could have done this, you should have done that. But like, no. I don't think you can really put more in there. And I completely forgot that somebody got hit by a car. Like that. So let me rephrase this. So Jean Grey possessed somebody. They got hit by the taxi, and then Spider-Man didn't stop to save the guy. Is their complaint?
It's basically like she's essentially murdered someone, and we're now supposed to use that murder as to alleviate the idea of her being a sympathetic character because she straight up killed that guy.
Oh, that's what I said, though, about her shit at the end. Like, as an audience member, I don't know how to... Like, if we're supposed to watch the other X-Men do equally shitty stuff, I can't, as an audience member, go, oh, but they're the X-Men. They're the heroes of the story. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't really want... My views on the X-Men are not views on politics. And some of these dickheads on the internet make it, like, so political to talk about X-Men stories. I'm just put it like this. I can't get behind the X-Men if that's what everyone's going to be. Oh, I'm just a misunderstood asshole. No, you're just an asshole. And I'm not going to want to go see your movie. Like, I need to see them be treated poorly or, have society outcast them. Not, I did something wrong. And now because it's like, are they an allegory for the modern generation? Because then that's funny. Are you going to play X-Men up for laughs? That's funny. But if you're going to follow up the classic X-Men from the movies in the Avengers movies with this, I don't care if it's an age thing. It's like they're not motivated by good. They're just trying to make up for the shit they did. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't see a purpose for the X-Men. That's all I'm getting at.
I hear you too, because I'm also looking at it like, okay, so are they going to turn the greater part of society into the very type of people where no amount of apologizing is enough? Like, that's the type of people that are mutant haters. It's like, oh, they made a mistake and the people have done everything they can to apologize, but there's that one portion of humanity, the Friends of Humanity, where no amount of apologies, no amount of goodwill will ever make up for that one mistake they did in their adolescence while they're trying to figure their life out. And I'm wondering if that's the angle that they're going to go for. Because with Jean Grey, I think, if I'm remembering my X-Men properly, she was technically the very first X-Men introduced because she was in a cab going to the school for gifted children, and then she steps out, she goes inside, meets Professor X, and then Angel, Iceman, Beast, and Cyclops, and she's essentially the first mutant we ever really see in that continuity. And I guess that's what they're trying to do with Brave New World here.
I wish they would have done it different, but hey, we all can wish that.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm just happy with what's on screen because for a Spider-Man movie, I finally got my favorite character in a way that I haven't seen in, 20 years. Because you brought up Spider-Man 1 and 2. It's not better than that. I'd agree. But it's better than 3, and it's better than the Garfield, and it's better than the rest of the Holland movies.
It does
like
the power struggle thing much better in this one than Spider-Man 2.
In regards to, what do you mean?
The fact that he's not having proper control over his powers, he's fighting off with like the arachnid DNA and everything. Whereas in Spider-Man 2, he's depressed and so he can't shoot his webs, and his eyesight goes bad.
It does appeal to that.
It's all basically from, oh, I've got a broken heart because the girl I like doesn't like me back, or some malarkey like that. And to a point that affects Spider-Man emotionally, but the bleeding it over to the powers felt like a contrived means just to kind of do a soft reorigin of the character again. Like he falls down, he loses his powers, he gives up Spider-Man only to come back because his powers have returned, as opposed to, in a traditional comic book, if Spider-Man lost his powers, he'd try to do something to kind of still be Spider-Man without them, because he still has some knowledge and he still has understanding of the foes that he faces to try and do the right thing.
Well,
that's my takeaway on that. Yeah.
Well, I like that he did it in the second one when he tries to save people from the fire.
Yeah.
And then I can't separate some of the comic stuff from the movie stuff, because I'm like, all right, this is the other, where he just gets new powers at some point, like 2005.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I like that they gave him, I guess. I don't really care about organic webs. Like the Maguire ones are fine. I never once watched those movies and went, it would be so much better if he had mechanical web shooters, because then blah. No.
Well, I mean, he could do more stuff with them. Like he can create the web that stops Electro with the silicate in it, and
oh, that's fair. But he never fought those villains, so it's kind of like it's a good counter argument for like geeking out. But from a movie standpoint, it's like, well, he fights dudes that doesn't matter. And I think it's more along the lines of, us, the fans, that want it to be the way we remember it or the way we think it's supposed to be. And I think this movie does a good job altering storylines from the books. And instead of making them it's a 1-to-1 adaptation, it's like, all right, we're going to adapt some of this stuff. Let's take the best parts and move on. Because they sure as shit didn't make it where he's, dealing with Mephisto and to deal with that kind of stuff, and everybody else's memories are wiped like that. It's, I think it's a good way to just drop you into a Spider-Man movie, and I hope that this is kind of how they operate for a while. Not with a bunch of characters, but like with just him in New York doing his own thing. And I don't need to see him in outer space, and I don't need to see him across the country flying in a Quinjet. Just like be the poor superhero that we all like. And I got it.
That'd be nice. I want to see more like gear porn with Spider-Man, because that's one of the cool parts about him, is like he has to come up with some sort of mini device here and there, or some sort of guile thing to get the upper hand, because he's actually one of the few superheroes in the superhero books where he's more often outnumbered than he is ever on a team that's kind of balancing up the odds.
Yeah, like this theme song says, wealth and fame he ignores, action is his reward. Like, you got the loner part, you get the action, you got the crappy life. Outside of his spider light, I don't know what else we'd be missing. Like
He's got a spider tracker. He's got the various types of web gadgets, well, webbing that he can do with the different types of spread nozzles and spreads and things like that. Yeah, little things. Yeah.
Well, I feel like we're getting to a point where, kind of like with video games, I said the other week, there's only so much you can do, like to improve graphics. There's not much else to do. I saw this interesting post where it's like, this is Batman Arkham City or Arkham Asylum, or sorry, Arkham Knight from 2014, 2015. And it showed you a more modern game, and you're like, yeah, the graphics really haven't changed that much. Like with the Spider-Man stuff, it's like, I don't really know what else to add. Like, we've had web pits, we've had this, we've had that. I think it's very refreshing that it's like classic Spider-Man and not, hey, we got to have him deal with Max Modell and all these new characters that nobody likes.
Oh, yeah, that'd be, yeah. No, he's got a great enough rogues gallery that you could do like a movie with two of them at the most and still have plenty of story left to tell for future adventures down the line.
Oh, yeah.
What I'm gathering from, and granted, I have not seen the movie yet. I will see it Friday, and maybe my take and my opinion will change. But what I'm gathering based on the people who I know and trust, specifically when it comes to not just comic books, but Spider-Man specifically. So like Jeff, you and my buddy Spencer are explicitly massive web heads. So I think what my current takeaway is right now, and I trust Mary's opinion as well, because she really enjoyed the film. My current takeaway is that there are a lot of people who are crapping on the film, and maybe there are things that are worth critiquing about it, sure. I think there are a lot of people who either A, think they remember a lot more about Spider-Man in terms of the source material than they actually do, or there are a lot of people who profess to know a lot more about the source material than they actually do.
Oh, absolutely.
And so a lot of that bitching, a lot of that's coming out through their bitching.
That's kind of why I low-key dropped. Like, I don't have any issues with anybody's specific videos, but I'm reading. What I'm noticing over the last couple of weeks is some of the stuff in our quote-unquote sphere, which I don't really consider myself in it, but whatever's in my social media sphere that I'm getting, I'm seeing a lot of, like, the ground is crumbling in certain levels of, like, critique or criticism, and we're just grasping at whatever you can hold on to. And I think that lines up with some of the lack of knowledge with Spider-Man. Because, folks, it doesn't make me virtuous to know this shit. It's a hobby that I have. It's something that I enjoy reading. It's something that I like to do, to draw. But that being said, like, you also don't need to be an expert. You don't need to say, like, well, if so-and-so's drawing him, he's got 3 webs on the top of his head and 2 lines at the bottom. Like, I know all that lame shit because I've read it. I like it. But I do think if you're going to critique a Spider-Man or any kind of anything, if you're going to, like, for example, I'm not going to critique Dune and tell you that Paul Atreides is acting out of character because I don't know that shit. But what I do know is that in this realm, I do know what I'm talking about. And I'm just, script, you're going to know this stuff too. It's a good representation of the character.
So
Yes.
I think the real sticking point here, sorry, I amused myself. I think the important thing is intellectual honesty. So if there are people that are critiquing the film and they lead with, hey, this is how I would have preferred this to go down. That's one thing, right? Because you can have your opinion. You can have your preference. It's fine. You can have that with literally anything. We've all got those. But it's when people try to stand on character accuracy and continuity and source material when you don't actually know what the hell you're talking about. But you are leading with that, right? You're like, well, this isn't accurate to the character. It's like, do you actually understand the character? Why are you leading with source material when you don't know the source material? Do not invoke and recite the deep magic to me.
But
okay,
I just roll my eyes because, like, I've definitely interacted with the people that will watch Comics Explained or get those crash courses in YouTube videos. Hey,
sure.
More power to you. I respect you. You only got so much time.
And Rob's got
like,
a great voice for his videos. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I have no issues with the content. That's not it at all. What I'm saying is, like, you watching a 20-minute video on something doesn't.
It's not the same as reading 300 plus issues of a book.
And again, like I always say this, because it's not about for our audience, it's for the people that find this video in the future. I'm not telling you I've read these books to come off as cool. Like, it's not really a cool thing, and it doesn't make me any virtuous, but it just gives me the perspective to say, hey, this is accurate, or that's true, or that feels right. Because, like, I've even said this to you on the show countless times. There's like 4 versions of Spider-Man, and they all kind of exist to different demographics, but they all exist at the same time. And I noticed too how Spider-Man appeal, and I know people don't like to think of it this way, but Spider-Man appeals to all races and all this other shit. And if you notice too, they package him differently to try to make him appeal to everywhere, and it works. Like, Spider-Man has rock theme songs and rap theme songs. Spider-Man's a fully covered character, so he appeals to everybody. Like, Stan Lee said this shit decades ago, and I thought, I guess it's true. But now I kind of do think it's true, because everybody just can relate to the character and kind of see themselves as Spider-Man if they want to, if that's how your brain works. And also, too, this film does a great job of keeping him in the costume. This isn't one of those things where he takes his mask off every 5 minutes for screen time. And there's, like, parts that are almost comical where, like, he's in a full Spider-Man costume. Because, you know, in the MCU, everybody takes off their costume and shows up in a baseball cap with a pair of sunglasses. Yeah. Spider-Man goes to a meeting at Damage Control, and they're just like, hey, Spider-Man, and he just goes in and, like, consults in his costume. Or, like, he meets with the police in his full costume. It's never like, they even make a comment where you're like, do you ever take off your mask? And he's like, no, I got to keep my secret identity secret. Like, all that shit that I've been waiting for like 10 years on film for this character, it's all back. So if you're, like, looking for Spider-Man, like, and this is the thing too, like, I'm going to answer this question. If people have specific questions, I'm happy to talk about them. I just don't know what you guys want. Do you want me to talk about it from a movie? Because I think it works as a movie. You want me to talk about it from a Spider-Man standpoint? It really knocks that out of the park too. I like when people have counterpoints to me. So folks, let me know in the chat what you want to talk about. Our friend Hembreed Jeremiah says, you guys, I get the movie a 9 out of 10. But I also want to hear everyone's opinions, whether they really loved the film or whether they didn't. Well, I can't say I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I mean, for a superhero movie, like 7.5, 8, I liked it that much. Like, I want to watch it again. It's one of those where I might have plans this weekend, but I might go next weekend to go see it again. Script on a scale of 10, what would you give it?
Oh, I never do the number scales, but I will say this is a strong, like, everybody should see this movie. That's what that's how I rate it. It's like, it's really well done, surprisingly decently paced, good character motivation for Peter Parker, solid 1-2 punch when it comes to enemies becoming villains becoming friends type of things. Friends becoming enemies and enemies becoming friends type of things. Yeah, it's done quite well. And also the other part too is that it's authentically trying to be as Spider-Man can be. Like, being able to see the fact that you have Tom Holland who is in the costume.
Spider can.
Yeah, Tom Holland is in the costume as much as he can possibly be without revealing his face, which is a complete inversion of everything that has been done before. And I think that's most to do with the fact that maybe Daniel Destin Cretton, or whatever his name is, really decided to, like, go on his own here. And I also should point out that this is only a Sony distributed movie. Like, Sony has a little bit of notes that they can make here and there with regards to their ownership of the rights, but this is still full traditional Marvel MCU creative team behind it. So it's quite impressive that they were able to get this out the way that they did. Yeah. Given their recent history with the character and also their other movies that they've been making.
Like, if they could keep this level of, I don't know if accuracy is the right phrase, but, like, to capture the spirit of the character. If they can capture this spirit for other characters in this level, I think we'd be in a good place. But I also think that's because this is a more focused film. And you talked about the pacing. I don't think this movie really had a down moment where I once went and looked at my watch and went, this is garbage. Once the Jean Grey thing popped up and I went, oh shit, they're really just going to let her be an asshole and get away with crimes. Like, maybe I tapped my toe a little because I was mildly annoyed. But, you know, if the character gets her comeuppance or at least apologizes or does something to make amends, then, you know, then maybe I can feel sympathy towards that. But other than that, I'd be really having to pick apart nitpicks to start tearing this movie apart. Because
Absolutely. Because I'm looking at this from a writer perspective for the Jean Grey character. It's like she has to live with this, and eventually the guilt's going to catch up to her, and then it either turns her into a very sympathetic character who's trying to use her mistake to prevent someone else from making the same mistake as a teacher, or you take it into a completely different direction where you never address that, and you end up doing a little bit of some disservice to the character and then also to the very franchise you're trying to reboot for like a third time with audiences.
I hope they don't reboot this or try to change anything up. I could sit through more Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, and he looks like a kid still. So,
for a guy who's almost 30 too, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot say that he didn't commit to the role in any way. Like, he looks the part, he got in shape for the part. This is no rubber suit. I don't feel like anybody really cut corners in this. I don't like Mark Ruffalo Hulk, but I didn't hate the Hulk.
No, he was done quite well here. I am disappointed that, again, we're still hung up on the Michelle Jones stuff. I would like to see a different love interest pop up. That would be Spider-Man.
Yeah, I forgot Zendaya was in this movie. I've been thinking about the Spider-Man parts.
Yeah, sorry to bring that.
I would love nothing more than to never have to look at Michelle or Ned ever again.
Oh no, I like Ned.
Yeah, Ned's fine in this one.
But I mean, yeah, it's just Michelle Jones, Watson, whatever alias they've given her. It's like we don't get enough actual chemistry with them across their main movies for me to really connect with these two. Like, it's just give me a new girl. I don't care. You can make her black, Asian. I don't care. I just want a new love interest for Peter Parker to explore.
You know what you do is you introduce the Daily Bugle, but instead of Betty Brant, you introduce Gloria Grant. That's a real character, and she's just basically Black Betty, bam-a-lam. And there you go.
You made the joke before I could, chat.
Yeah. Look, Spider-Man is down with ladies of all color, like many of us. So I don't think anybody would get us upset if they just, adapted her. Or didn't he? I think he dated an Indian lady. Hell, he even dated a. What do they prefer the phrase? Little person? Like when Doc Ock took over, Spider-Man had a midget.
Well, yeah, that's a technicality, but yes. Yeah, during the initial Superior Spider-Man.
But here's the point I'm getting at, man, and this is a message to Hollywood. You don't need to alter the characters. What you need to do is pick the characters that you're trying to showcase. Like that Spider-Man cartoon that came out a couple years or months ago, maybe a year ago, Friendly Neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they changed the Osborns. Okay, I can see that complaint because I don't like changing either. But, then it was a bunch of characters from the comic book that aren't the traditional. Like, it wasn't Flash Thompson and some of these other characters. It was like the more modern version or more modern characters, and it worked. And I thought that cartoon did a good job. And same with X-Men. You don't need to change characters. You just need to you want black characters on the X-Men? Well, just bring in Bishop, bring in Storm, bring in this person, and hopefully Marvel just uses their entire back catalog instead of changing characters. Because I think that's the thing. Audiences are accepting. It's when you change shit that we like for arbitrary reasons that we kind of go, I'm not buying into your garbage because it looks like you want brownie points for nothing. But who was that? Our friend Jeremiah, I give it a high mark, but it's still below the first two Spider-Man movies, but not that far off. Like, I'm really happy with this movie. So it's nice to say that. Our friend Enrique says, hello, Andrew. You can watch Spider-Man with me in my basement. Oh.
I'm good, actually.
There was a yum involved, but I decided not to say it in your ear.
I
This isn't Red Robin.
appreciate that.
Let's see. Crouching Taylor Hidden Swift says, I was surprised to see X-Men in a Sony film. Well, remember, it's all MCU, even though Sony distributes it. The MCU has their own X-Men, and that is what you saw in the new Spider-Man film. Or at least,
A hint of that, yeah.
Yeah. Crouching Taylor Hidden Swift says, Steel Cage match. Reeves' 4 Superman films versus Tom Holland's 4 Spider-Man films.
I'll take the
Well-
Reeves films, like, period.
So I like Superman 1 and 2 and 3, but I hate Superman 4.
Superman 4 is an incomplete movie. That's why it's so lousy.
Oh yeah. It's got it's just lazy too. The effects are bad. There's so many things about that movie that I don't like.
Counterpoint. The first 3 Tom Holland Spider-Man films, the solo Spider-Man films, are complete films, and they're lousy.
I don't disagree. I'm just torn.
I'll still take Reeves films. I can't speak on Brand New Day yet, but if I'm just going off of the ones that I do have in my brain space from having seen them.
So I would take
I'll still
the
go
new
with Reeves.
Spider-Man over the last 2 Supermans. But I guess people would be upset if I wanted so Superman 2's good, but Superman 1's the best one. So I'll just say the Donner Superman is better than all of them. But
It is, yeah.
Xavier to God says Brand New Day was easily better than Homecoming and Far From Home. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Far From Home's bar is so low it's subterranean, and Mephisto does jump rope over it.
Let's see. Are we all caught up on these messages? Let's see. Yes, we are. People are voting for Reeves, though. Checking into the chat. Sorry, folks, not trying to and ah in your ear. What about the Black Cat? Felicia Hardy would have been an excellent woman who'd be more interested in Spider-Man. I don't think we're there yet. Also, too,
Felicia's only interesting as a flirtation character when Peter, in his real life, already has an actual love interest.
yeah, and you're supposed to be like, is Spider-Man going to cheat on his girlfriend with this woman because he's in his costume? Like, that's what the Black Cat really exists for. She's
She
not.
is temptation, yeah. Personified.
Yeah, she's meant to be. That's what that archetype is there for. That femme fatale, cat burglaress archetype. That's what that's there for. It's not meant to be this is the end all be all. This is the end game. No. And I also see the Sydney Sweeney thing
Yeah,
about that.
keep her away from that.
Well,
Keep
not
her away
just
from
that,
Marvel.
but I don't understand why the internet does this, and I don't know, maybe I'm retarded. But just because, and that's entirely possible. But in fact, I'd maybe even be willing to put money on it. But because Sydney Sweeney was like the hot button topic for a little bit there, all of a sudden all these rumors were cropping up in this sphere specifically. Oh, she played this, or she played that. Oh, now you got news outlets, on this corner of the internet saying, oh, she's rumored to be in talks to play this kid. No, she's not. Sources are because you trust us, bro. Right?
Yeah.
Shut
yeah,
up.
and Hunter
No.
Schafer's still Zelda.
Yeah, and Hunter Schafer is gonna play Princess Zelda. Get out of here. Look, she looked great as Julie Carpenter in the Madam Web film, and I'll give her props for wanting to wear the actual comic book accurate suit and hang upside down, and that scene was the only cool scene in the entire film. But let's not pretend like she should be cast as Felicia Hardy here, right? Just because she's attractive doesn't make her the right pick for the character, and it doesn't mean we need a Felicia Hardy in the MCU right now. I would like them to just get Spider-Man right and get a proper Spider-Man love interest right first, okay? Worry about the temptation stuff down the road. All right, can we get there first? Okay, thanks, bye.
I wish we could just kill off Zendaya. Not the actress, but the character, because she plays the same character in every film.
Well, so this was spoiled for me, but apparently Jean Grey tries to kill her at some point, and I was like, oh, are we maybe judging Jean Grey a little too harshly this film right now? Because look, Tom Holland and Zendaya, the two actors, the two people, they have fantastic chemistry together as people. But in the MCU, in these films, his Peter and her Michelle had none.
I
As
think
far
she's
as
a
I'm
little
concerned.
better in this movie.
I have been told that, but again, up until my experience so far, I haven't been sold on it. I'm just like, get out of here.
Look, I don't love her. I don't like her. I wish it was something else. But there are huge chunks of this movie when she's not in it, and you'll forget about her. Like, and that's a good thing because the other parts are very engrossing. Like, just watching Spider-Man be Spider-Man, or Andrew, you're gonna go see it. Folks in the chat are probably gonna go see it too. It's a high recommend. Honestly, it's a very high recommend.
I go into these with an open mind because I want to enjoy them. Right? There are certain parts of my brain I can't remove, but I'm still going to go into it wanting to enjoy it. So, it's the onus is on the film itself to do the work. That's it.
Enrique asks, would a toddler be able to watch it? He likes Spidey. It's not violent at all. Like, there's nothing. It's less
Is
violent.
Spidey
than
allowed to
Gory
throw a
or
punch?
frightening with it, yeah.
Is
Spider-Man.
Spidey allowed to throw a punch?
Yeah, Spider-Man whoops ass in this movie. This ain't the cartoon.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you recognized what I was going for. I figured you would.
I thought about interviewing John Semper. I just don't know what else to add to the conversation, but I like that guy. Maybe we'll get him on the channel. Folks, we have the Eric and Julia LeWald that worked on X-Men, the animated series. That is a video we have on the channel, so check it out. I got to interview them when I still lived in California, and it was a lot of fun. Oh, let's see. Somebody said earlier in the chat there's still a chance to do a back to basics Spider-Man. As somebody who's read these books, I don't know how much more basic it could go back to, because he can't go to high school. We can't get the social setting we want. I don't even know. I honestly think it should always stay this age, because high school's not even that exciting.
Well, in the book's publishing history, he was only in high school for what, like 2 years?
28 issues.
Yeah.
And if you read the cover of the book, it says, finally, Spider-Man's most requested story, Peter graduates from high school. So even back then, people were writing letters. We want him out of high school. We want him out of high school. Have him graduate high school. And then he did. And he stayed in college for about 20 years. Well, he dropped out in the early 80s. He was a slow student. Anyway, yeah, when you say about back to basics, I don't know what else you could add in terms of
Make him a photographer would be something.
Yeah, but remember, it's 2026.
Oh, I know.
If he's going to be a photographer, he'd come off as a hipster like Andrew Garfield. And
yeah, I know. It's missing that element of the fact that there's no Daily Bugle employment. There's no relationship between him and JJJ. And those things are kind of missed, because I do like that dynamic. But, like, again, when you're trying to make it in current day, what's the best method to make that work in a sense that, Peter just doesn't walk away from the job and be like, listen, I'm a genius. I can make like an app that could help people out and make millions of dollars on that on the side and still be Spider-Man. I don't need you and your slander, JJ.
Well, that's what was super interesting about the original run on Superior Spider-Man, right? Because when Otto was in Peter's body, he had that mentality. Like, he could multitask, and he'd say, okay, I can do this, this, and this. That's going to work with that over there, and that's going to continue to pay dividends for me. And then I can spend my other time over here, and I can thwip and save people, blah, 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 right? And that was something that I was looking forward to seeing carry over into Peter once Amazing started back up. But unfortunately, I expected too much of Dan Slott. But that was on me.
Somebody in the chat said you could modernize him. You could make him a graphic designer or a social media coder. He doesn't.
It doesn't land the
for a
same
job.
way.
Like, you just see him in his room with a huge computer setup.
I was going to say, with a bunch of tech they showed in the trailer, and I'm like, how is your ass affording that?
Well, they show him deal with his landlord on how to get that apartment in a flat, like just like a quick scene. So you see
and
how
it's not much of an apartment either. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah. He basically lives in like an attic of an apartment building. But it's kind of like how it was in the 80s when he had that one apartment and he would go in from the rooftop and avoid, like, the people who made this clearly understand what they were making. I'm just trying to give a counterpoint to stuff. Like, outside of making him a photographer and outside of having Jay Jonah there, I guess my complaint would be they got rid of Uncle Ben to the point where now Aunt May almost gave him the great power, great responsibility speech. And that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier the Gods asks, fuck, Mary kill, Brand New Day, The Batman and Superman 2025.
I can't speak on that because I haven't seen Brand New Day yet. I saw the Batman and Superman 2025, the latter of which I very much enjoyed. The Batman was fine.
Well, I will marry the new Spider-Man movie. I'll fuck Superman 2025 and kill the Batman. And the Batman's not bad.
It's one of the worst written Batman films I can think of.
One of. It's still not Batman and Robin.
No, but I can watch Batman and Robin because the villain's motivation makes sense.
The Ice Age. Yeah, that's the motivation. Look.
Well,
I'll
motivation's
rewatch the
like,
movie just
freezing
for
the world
Arnold's
because
Mr. Freeze.
He wants his wife back. Yeah.
Look, I'm with you about that. I just both the Batman and Robin were turned off in my last viewings of each. I got to the first Nirvana interlude in the Batman, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I just turned it off and never went back to it. And then Batman and Robin's just Batman and Robin. I hated it since it came out, so.
I liked the Batmobile.
In
when
which
I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
In Batman and Robin. Not
so I don't like that car because the Batman Forever. I bought really heavily into Batman Forever as a kid. All the toys, Batcave, everything.
Well, Batman Forever has my second favorite Batmobile ever, behind only the animated series.
That's a good one. I prefer the Keaton, then the animated, then that.
Keaton's my number 3.
Adam West is number 4. Xavier the God says, I was surprised there was no Man Spider, or maybe we'll see it down the line. I was hoping for him to move on from Michelle and Ned and get interesting friends. Let's address that. So first off, folks, Man Spider is not what this is adapting. What you guys are thinking of is the cartoon. Basically, in the comic book, what Man Spider is for issue 100, Spider-Man is tired of being Spider-Man, so he develops a serum to get rid of his powers. And he drinks it, and all of a sudden, he grows 6 arms. Now, he doesn't turn into anything back then. I think that's Man Spider is in later books, right? Let me just make sure. But for sure, what they're adapting is the other, where he gets he turns into something like Man Spider, but it's different. And then he just kind of sheds that within a book or two. Because it's not a great, that part's dumb. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Man Spider is, what year is that from? I don't know. Man Spider, not Spider-Man. There we go. He debuted in not Amazing Fantasy 15. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Story arc, and they were rerunning Neogenic Nightmare, and it was just, it's Man Spider 1. Oh, great. So, but yeah, I wouldn't mind if he got rid of those friends. I didn't think they're that great. See, the thing is, I think they've ruined all the friends already, so you really can't go an interesting route because Flash Thompson isn't going to be cool. Like in the comic book, they become buddies. There's no Harry, so he doesn't have a best buddy.
Flash Thompson becomes a fantastic character in the comics.
Yep.
Agent Venom is one of the best reworks of a character in Marvel Comics history.
Agent Venom was awesome, and I remember reading that book. I came home from college, and I was like, "Oh, okay, a Flash Thompson soliloquy story, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, cool." And then he's laying in the bed without any legs, and I'm like, "Oh shit, that was great." That was almost 20 years ago, and I'm still thinking about that page, going, "Ooh, wow, that got me. It hooked me." And I was on board with Agent Venom, but I'm glad that regular Venom's coming back. It's time.
I mean, it was inevitable. Marvel's the house of status quo. It was always going to happen.
But here's the problem, dude. It has been so long since status quo's been reached that I'm hungry for it. It's been 20 years. They just won't go back to normal shit. If they would, I think people would be so satisfied with the stagnant crap that was around for 30 years that they'll gladly eat it up for another 30.
Eddie was Venom just a couple of years ago.
No, I don't mean just I mean like in general. Like
Okay.
the point is
That's good.
Marvel. Like
Okay, I
Not
thought we
just
were
that, like-
specifically talking about Venom because I'm like, it's been like 2 years. That's it.
it's been 2 years. I thought Matt Gargan was Venom for a long ass time, and then that
But
was
that was
during
that was a while ago.
That's the last time I really cared about comics like that. Where I care
Oh,
about
okay.
making them.
Venom is one
and
of
I
like
pay
the
attention to
few
'em.
Marvel books that I have consistently followed
Okay.
because it's one of my favorite titles.
If I had time to read books for fun instead of like business or learning or growth, I guess is what you'd call it. Because I'll sit and study these things, but I'm not really like reading them the way I used to, where I'm like, oh, that's so deep, or oh, wait, that's cool. I'm like, oh man, Mobius was a master. By putting this here, it draws your eye there. So I'm kind of past that kind of comic book nerdery, but I'm gonna always refer to you for that one, or defer to you, excuse me. Let's see. What else came in? Xavier to God says, thoughts on Peter having an AI sidekick / security. I'm fine with it because the thing they don't give you in the movie is the Spider-Man inner monologue. That's in the comic book. Yeah, he had it in the cartoon, but if you don't have the inner monologue or the thought balloons, which are really what Spider-Man is, he's really just a guy wearing a costume and you're not going to hear him. But like when you can hear his thought or read his thoughts, that's the interesting part. That's what makes him him. So I like it because it gives there's a device to bounce off of to have Spider-Man talk instead of having him just talk to himself, he's talking to something. So I'm glad he still has that. Plus, AI in the real world is pretty cheap and it's not good, but like you can code it and do stuff. So I believe that a guy that smart would integrate that into his suit already. Like I feel like that's a natural evolution of Spider-Man. Even if he doesn't have Iron Man tech, he would always, integrate that shit. And Andrew,
yeah, he would probably use ChatGPT to be like, "Hey, code me my own AI, custom AI," and you could get it done, and then he can fix it up his own way.
Oh yeah, and they do a great job making him the brilliant mind. He comes off smarter than Reed Richards, which
Well, he's more
It is what it is.
compassionate and less nefarious than Reed Richards, which is why
I mean,
I
he's
like
been
him.
called one of the most brilliant minds on the planet in the Marvel Universe by the other most brilliant minds in the Marvel Universe. Even Doctor Doom recognizes his brilliance. He just finds him annoying.
Well, I mean, the other part too is like what makes Peter Parker so great is that he has a flaw of arrogancy to him. Like again, like the running theme, and I've mentioned it on the show before, is that he has that motto: "Great power comes great responsibility." But how often has he learned from the lessons that he has before another writer comes in and kind of resets him softly, so that he makes similar mistakes all over again?
I mean, that's a writer issue in being unwilling to carry forward the continuity of those that came before you. I think
That
that's
or the
more of a
editorial.
writer. That's more of a writer arrogance or editorial retardation. Considering Nick Lowe is still there, it might be a little bit of column A and column B.
So when is Marvel going to realize that their editors are the people they need the least? You could you can have some of these people. I get what you could respond with, but the books, the continuity, this and that. No, you should just hire somebody to do that. And these editors shouldn't have as much creative input because their ideas don't work.
Oh
We're
yeah,
over that.
The thing is, they're not supposed to be supplementary to the writers. They're supposed to be there to make sure that the writer's telling the best story possible. It's not about their stories that they want to tell. I mean, that's what the publisher technically gets.
It's called being an invisible hand editor.
Yeah. But everybody's got to put their stamp on it. So when they're character,
Well, yeah, they do
You
that to
robot it out
justify their
there.
job, though. That's the thing. They
I
do that to
guess,
justify
yeah.
their job. Like, why are you the editor here? Why do you need these? Like, well, I did this. I made this decision. It's like, okay, so we'll keep you around, as opposed to getting someone else for cheaper.
by the way, folks, that is part of the other. That gets the cocoon and all that stuff. That he also is supposed to get like night vision, where he can see clearly in the dark, and he's got like these microscopic hairs that he can feel shit, and then he can even shoot like talons out of his wrist. I think that's how he kills this. He actually kills the bad guy in that book. I'm pretty sure it's Moreland, and he like stabs him with those things out of his wrist. It ended very quickly. It wasn't very good. Like Spider-Man got his eyeball ripped out and eaten at one point.
Yeah. I mean, it's Marvel Knights. It was
Oh no,
meant to be.
this was across all the titles. This is across Friendly Neighborhood. This is across Amazing. All of them. Did I robot out again?
No, I'm just like trying to remember that.
Yeah, just type in Spider-Man the Other. It's just across all the lines.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. Amazing Spider-Man 525 was part of it. Yeah, it goes.
No,
across
that's
all the
right.
books.
Yeah, that's right.
Because this is part of my window of where I was buying them and reading them again just to make sure I knew the story. Then again, it's also been like close to 20 years since I've read this. I just remember all this shit. So, yay, that's my superpower. I can remember shit.
No, you're with Spidey like I am with Flash when it comes to the comic book history stuff. So I get it.
Yeah. Now I'm in this. Oh, you'll find this interesting because it's poignant to the conversation. I've reached the point in my Spidey fandom. I was out at the grocery. I saw they had some magazine with Spider-Man on it, but I could tell who drew it just on the kneecap. So like, I was like, "That's Mark
Man.
Bagley art," and I pulled it.
Yep.
I was like, "Oh, yep, I knew what it was before I even saw it. Just the knee."
Well, Bagley's got that really distinct style too.
But just a kneecap.
Yeah, just a
Like-
kneecap. That's like next level tism, Jeff.
It's just art, man. I can tell this shit. The FBI needs to hire me. Oh, Jeff,
As-
look at these crime scene photos. What does the blood tell you?
Next level artism. That's what that is.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm working on my next book already because I got to make it. Got to do the art. But Xavier God, thank you very much. He says it was interesting to see regular Hulk back. Maybe not that joke Professor Hulk. Also, it would have been okay if Tom had organic webs going forward. I think he will have them moving forward because it was like an allegory for loneliness, and you gotta like be yourself or evolve into something, and the traumatic event will change you. So I guess he mutates like mutants.
Maybe.
Mm.
I mean, they don't have to go full kiltered that way. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm just trying to piece stuff together. But if he has
Yeah.
organic web shooters moving forward, that's cool. Or just put the web shooters under the gloves because that costume is pretty much perfect without those. And
Yeah, I saw that was a little weird. It's just seeing the silver on the outside, it's like felt off.
it's
Yeah,
to sell
that's
a
more
toy.
of that's more of a Ben Riley thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they want to sell the toys, do what they did back in the day. Just sell the toy because the kid will understand that it's under the glove like we all did. And it's like, oh, hey, cool. Xavier God also asked, do you guys think Tom will get the black suit? Absolutely.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure it'll inevitably happen. Yeah.
That's what
I
Secret
mean-
Wars is going to be.
Yeah, Secret Wars. If they do the authentic symbiote thing where he gets it on that planet from the costume maker device, that's not really the costume maker device, that would be pretty cool. That's a nice little inside nod for your old Secret Wars fandom guys.
I just hope they don't do the more recent retcon thing, and I say recent, it's still several years old, I think. Where freaking Deadpool got it first.
Oh
Just
yeah,
annoying.
drove it nuts, and that's why.
Like,
Yeah,
no, can
I
we
hope
can we
not.
like really seriously minimize Deadpool's usage?
I mean, look at the MCU's usage of him. Just his own movies. Or just his
Keep
own
it that
movie.
way. Well, he's probably going to be in Secret Wars.
But why is Deadpool famous? Why does Deadpool make money? Because he makes a bunch of weird sex jokes and R-rated shit. It's a different audience that goes to see Deadpool versus a different audience that goes to see Spider-Man. So I don't think Marvel is going to ever alienate that audience by trying to bring in the Deadpool people. It'll just like the Deadpool people will show up and then they'll just write their own lines of dialogue like, well, he should have said something, blah, 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 fuckface. And that'll just be, a whole thing on Reddit now where like people rewrite Deadpool's lines in the MCU films. I just don't want him at all. Like he could stay in his little timeline and, hang out with Wolverine and Blind Al and all that other shit. So I'm
Yeah.
with you, Andrew.
I don't need more Deadpool. I still haven't seen the third movie. That probably won't change anytime soon.
It's just a 90-minute long gay joke.
Yeah, I don't need it.
Xavier to God, I do want to see that black costume though. That is my favorite alternate suit for a hero. If I was given the opportunity to draw Spider-Man at Marvel, I might be like, I'm going to cheap out and do the black suit. It's less work. No, I think it looks great. It's fantastic.
It's my third favorite alternate Spider-Man suit.
Now, do I need to be nerdy and say it only counts for Peter Parker, not Ben Reilly?
I mean, you can, but the suits that I was going to mention were only going to be Peter Parker suits anyway.
Okay, good. What are they?
Though if we were counting Ben Reilly, like his spectacular Spider-Man suit is pretty fantastic. But no, in terms of alternate suits, Spider Armor Mark IV, even though I hate the Spider-Man Worldwide arc by Dan Slott, I freaking love that suit. That's my favorite suit that isn't the classic one. Followed by the classic Iron Spider suit, not the stupid MCU one that looks super weird, but I mean the actual, red and gold one from the comics, then the black suit. But the original suit is above all of those.
I go original, black suit, and then Future Foundation.
Future Foundation is a cool suit. That's a cool suit.
I just never... For Spider-Man, I just like the form-fitting ones. Any of the suits that change the silhouette of just that basic body, I think go against what Spider-Man is, like design-wise. Sure. So I always just go, because I'm looking at my shelf as I'm talking, and I don't think I have... It's literally just a sea of red and blue ones and then a couple black suits. So.
Yeah, in terms of like alternate suits outside of Peter's, it would then be like the Ben Reilly spectacular Spider-Man suit, and then the auto superior Spider-Man suit.
Oh, the autoerotic asphyxiation suit. Got it. Xavier to God, thank you. He says, thoughts on the relationship with the cops and people? I liked it. I think it's how people would treat Spider-Man, because you're like, oh, he's doing some good. You don't have a J. Jonah Jameson to rile the people up. So I guess since you don't offer that, it makes sense that the people would gravitate towards him, and he would have this online following. Spider-Man just is a man of the people, and with social media, I think he is, people would see him for who he is. So I like it. I don't think Spider-Man needs to be on the run from the police, and I don't think Spider-Man needs to be hated by people to make him interesting. It's interesting when J. Jonah Jameson hates him, because it gives you the counterpoint, but I do like every once in a while where they're like, hey, we're still with you, Spidey. Like in the first one, you mess with New York, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. So
right.
That was awesome. But yeah, Xavier to God, that is my thoughts on that. The black suit is just ripping off the Punisher. No, actually, a fan designed that suit, and it was originally supposed to be black and red. Mm-hmm. But at the last minute, they changed it to black and white. And here's my nerd hat going on. I'm pretty sure in the story...
And then they gave him like $200 for it, too.
Yeah, they paid for it legitimately. But the reason it looks the way it does is because he thought Spider-Woman's costume looked nifty, is pretty much what he says. I think that's even the wordage. But anyway, that's why it looks the way it does, because he was thinking about that lady's costume, and then, boom, gave him his own version. Let's see. Kaiju expert Al just got home from the theater. Hopefully you enjoyed the film. There we go, a 90-minute gay joke. Do you guys know what that's from? I'm quoting something. Let me know in the chat if you know what I'm talking about.
No, it's probably just another movie that I haven't seen.
I know you haven't seen this one, but I'm kind of surprised. Because it deals with comic books. Like a lot.
Is it one of Kevin Smith's movies?
Bingo.
Okay, that's why I haven't seen it.
At least you know that comic books and Kevin Smith go hand in hand. Good or bad.
They used to.
Yeah. Xavier to God, thank you very much. He said, who should be the Spider-Man villain? And the next one?
Pick one we haven't seen yet.
Well, I saw Sam Raimi make a great point. You got to figure out what the internal conflict that Spider-Man needs to face in his life, and then you need a villain that represents the internal conflict. So I like that idea, because that's why his first two movies work, because they had that mentality. And then you get to the third one where Avi Arad's like, we want to throw Venom in there because Venom sells tickets. That's what we want to avoid. Because if you want to tell a good story that sticks around, you can skate into the over bullshit, over bullshit. That's the worst phrase to use. The over the top, overexposed, gimmicky shit like it's in the new one. It can work when done right. But I think next one, you got to go, I don't even say more serious. You just got to get a villain that needs to be there. Like, really, is the Rhino going to be an interesting character on film? I don't think so.
But
no,
you know,
let him
would.
be a jobber once he has the black suit. Just
No. The one you want to do is Vulture, because
we've already had Vulture though.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. That's
We had that in
the King was
Homecoming.
on that one. I forgot about him. I'm thinking like I'd like to see more traditional Vulture.
Bring him back. He's the first villain to come back in the comic. So why not bring him back in the movies?
Because Vulture can represent the concept of Arrested Development and trying not to grow beyond what you are. And then that could work in parallel with, like, you know, Spider-Man trying to force a rebuild of the relationship with him and Michelle, and it's just not working. And he has to realize that he has to move on. And the Vulture can kind of represent that as well.
I'd like that. Really, it's just an excuse to
Just pick a villain that adds something psychological to Spider-Man. It doesn't have to be some big cosmic threat, please, for the love of God. You know, keep it something more grounded. And I don't mean grounded in the freaking Nolan way of grounded, which is let's take out everything fun and fantastical about this thing. But there's a really good quote from when I was taking people varying opinions on both the man and his writings, but I thought this was a pretty good quote, that your villain should be the dark mirror of your hero's worst fears. That's by Neil Gaiman. And I like that. Having something that isn't necessarily strictly challenging your hero physically. I mean, that's easy, right? That's when you run into power scaling issues. It's like, oh, well, that's when you run into CW Flash, where it's like, what's this season's villain? Oh, it's a speedster again that's faster than the one that he fought last season, right? Like, that's boring. Something more
it's the run
psychological.
first, run joke, yeah.
Yeah, something that challenges your hero on a far deeper level. That's something interesting. That's something that allows you to explore not only the depth of your villain, but also the depth of your hero.
I agree. When you said that, first thing I thought was Trevelyan. He might be the best Bond villain because he's just a dark mirror of James Bond. If you know, he went the wrong way.
For England, James?
No, for me. I do love that part.
That's a great
Anytime, I do like how it's in the video game, but I've learned how to like cheat to where I can kill Trevelyan early, so he just doesn't even get to say the iconic line. He just falls off the map early. I'm like, all right, it's more fun that way. But I don't know the next villain. I would love to see like a Spider-Man mob movie, but we kind of jumped over that. I think we're past Spider-Man versus Tombstone and Silvermane and all that stuff that I would have wanted to see. Yeah, I think that should have happened before this movie. So that's kind of out of the way.
I mean, you can still do Mr. Negative.
Yeah, you could. But that would just kind of be like a one-to-one adaptation of the game. Because that's what the adaptation
Not necessarily.
is.
We don't have an Aunt May here to be running Feast.
Yeah, but Zendaya could do some bullshit. Like,
Zendaya is going to be the Aunt May that's just clinging on
Cool.
and never going away.
Kill her off.
No,
I'll never do it now.
Look, we don't like her. But if this movie made $1 billion in a weekend, she's
coming back, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
There's got to be money in her name. Because I'm not saying she's going to become Samuel L. Jackson as the highest grossing actor of all time. But, you know, when I went and saw Spider-Man, it wasn't all dudes going to see that movie. And I'm not saying women don't like Spider-Man, but I know some people went out and saw this because of Zendaya. It's just a thing. I don't like her, but she's as part of this franchise. Ugh. I hope you can understand. Like,
I mean, I guess you could go with like the Spider-Man robots, like, you know, the attack bots.
the Spider Slayers?
The Spider Slayers, yeah.
That's never been done. That'd be cool.
Nah, that could work out, yeah. I mean, in this universe,
combine
can
the Spider
justify
Slayers
it.
and Rikers.
Yeah.
I think you need Jameson desperately. I think that's like the last missing piece. Just pay J.K. Simmons whatever it costs. Put him in the wig this time, and just
I know. Like, what were we doing there, guys?
Well, they just didn't want to put J.K. in a wig, but I think you could actually have a lot of fun with that because he could wear the wig and Spider-Man could just constantly web it off him every time he's in public.
Take off the toupee. Yeah, that'd be funny.
Yeah. It's just got to be him though.
Yeah,
there's no other choice.
That is a perfect casting that shall never be one-upped.
I also think you should make J. Jonah Jameson the villain because I know people don't think of it like this, but I think he's the best Spider-Man villain. Like, because he's the one that does.
He's propaganda against Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah. The Green Goblin can make it personal.
But that's something that Spidey can't punch. He can't web that up.
Yeah. Jonah's always got that over him. And I don't think they took it far enough in the Raimi movies. I'm not saying you got you basically want to run it up to the line where if Spider-Man would give his secret identity away, he could sue Jameson. You want it to be that level of oh my God, I can't believe they'll print this in this rag. But I just want to see. I would like to see that maybe as the X-Men are coming out and you have a thing about public opinion and superheroes, maybe Jameson can use that as his platform if he's still alive by the time they get to that movie in 2080.
All right.
Let's see. Xavier DeGott says, Andrew, the Amazing Spider-Man films were grounded, at least the first one.
I don't know if I'd necessarily call the first film grounded. Certainly not in the Nolanite grounding level. It was still pretty comic book. If you're doing the Lizard, I don't know how grounded you could really call that. Right? If they were doing, I don't know, Tombstone or The Hand or something.
Dude, I think they should do the Lizard, but they should kind of copy modern horror, like the A24 horror feel. And they should sell you a Spider-Man A24 horror movie about the Lizard. Because it looks like Warner Brothers has got their Clayface movie lined up, and people are going to gravitate towards the horror element. But I definitely think a Spider-Man, you can do genre now. Spider-Man making this much money, you can do Spider-Man genre pictures, and people are going to come to see it because it's the brand that sells. It's the character. And Lizard is a horror film, I think works. We got another one from Xavier DeGod. You could do Kingpin and Rhino or Kraven. Kingpin is Vincent D'Onofrio, right? He's part of the MCU officially.
Yep.
So you got to, and I don't watch Daredevil. So I can't say yeah because I don't know where the character is. And then Kraven the Hunter, you'd have to do a lot more than just have him, because what happens in the book is he fights Spider-Man. Spider-Man beats him. He goes on a boat and goes home. That's what happens with Kraven. And then he only shows up every once. He'll show up again for the Sinister Six, and he comes up back, multiple times throughout the decades. But his best story is when he kills himself, and you can't put that in one movie.
No, you got that's a whole trilogy is doing Kraven.
Yeah, you got to give the character the time to breathe. So, introduce him, sure, put him in the next one. I'm fine with that, but don't turn it into Kraven's Last Hunt because you can't justify, his ego's so great that one injustice will cause him to go over the edge. No. You got to have a series of these things, and you got to have the audience care. So, have him pop up how Rhodey pops up in these movies. Have a Kraven thing pop up. Maybe, yeah, because it's not Aaron Taylor Johnson. So, yeah, go for it.
I don't know what they were thinking.
Neither do they.
I actually like him, but I don't know what they were thinking with that casting. That is baffling.
He tried. That's all.
Aaron Taylor Johnson, sadly, is not really a movie star. That's the problem.
Is he a bigger star than Henry Cavill?
He's kind of on par with him, man, if you think about it. I mean, Henry Cavill has actual popularity and a very dedicated fandom. It's small, but it's dedicated and it's authentic. I don't think you can say the same about Aaron Taylor Johnson.
He's too generic to me to he gets lost in the roles he plays and he does a good job. but I
Yeah.
don't know what is his X factor that makes him unique.
He doesn't have one. He is actually just a very, very good character actor. But he's he's fairly attractive, but they're trying to make him a movie star, and it's never worked. Just like with Henry Cavill, they're trying to make him a movie star, and for whatever reason, it's just not working. And I feel for the guy because Henry Cavill, if he was born in the '60s and became an action star in the '80s, he would be up there with Stallone, with Schwarzenegger, doing some really cool, schlocky but fun action with some heart, and he'd be household name as big as those guys were. But we don't live in a culture that that facilitates that, and we don't have an industry that takes risks like they used to for that.
Now, do you think Spider-Man goes to back their choice was correct? Because this movie falls in line with everything we critique and complain about in movies, but now it's the second highest grossing movie of all time in terms of like record.
I think that has to do with the fact that the previous Spider-Man films plus the MCU connection has done a lot to bolster Spider-Man as a character. Because when he was brought in for Civil War, Civil War kind of really blew up with that. That revealed that excitement, and then also the anticipation and potential that we've got an MCU Spider-Man. We're going to see Spider-Man with other characters. That it's not just him all alone, which people got their fix for that, and now we're able to see him kind of on his own without all those advantages, without all those partnerships, without all those types of friendships. And we've got this nice contrast here that's getting people more excited as to like, well, how is this Peter Parker going to deal with this new adjustment? Because it's kind of like an inversion where you would expect, well, with the Raimi films went the distance and actually did start its own MCU from there. Eventually, you'd be introducing Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor meeting Spider-Man in those films, and then it would eventually go to an Avengers film. But in this case, we have the reverse. We already had Avengers films, and then we bring in Spider-Man. He's now part of the team, and then he's getting a little bit of mentorship from Tony Stark for his first film. Then Nick Fury for the second one, and then in the third one, a little bit of Doctor Strange going on there. And now he's gone through those trials of mentorships, and he's completely on his own. And what I think makes this film really work and tantalizing for people is the fact that he's succeeding on his own now. He's not relying on the help of the mentor to make sure that he's successful. He's already now proved that he can do that, to the point where even like Frank Castle in his involvement there, he is not a mentor. He is a partner, essentially. Part adversary as well, but mostly a partner. Like they're on equal ground. And I think that works out really well for Spider-Man. It allows him to become his own man again in this.
I definitely love that. That's definitely what I've gravitated towards, because he doesn't. They figure out that character hierarchy, that structure to make him fit with other characters, but they do it, I guess, authentically.
Yeah.
Andrew, are you more or less excited after talking with us?
I mean, roughly the same, I guess. If maybe leaning a little bit towards more. I was already looking forward to seeing the film, to be clear, despite the fact that it's Tom Holland's Spider-Man, whom I have traditionally not enjoyed at all, except for in Civil War. But enough people have been saying they enjoy it, who I typically trust, and you've kind of stacked on top of that. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
I'm going to go back. That's the thing. I'm going to go back and watch it. And like I don't know if I said it on the show, but the hot toy will be mine. So I'll be adding it to the collection. But I'm trying to figure out what else is there to say. Folks, do you have any more questions before I rank the Spider-Man movies? Because this is just the Jeff one. I guess what makes it the official WCBS ranking. So I will get those ready in just a minute. But let me pull up an S tier and all that stuff. We'll make it a little more visual.
All right. I'm curious to see.
Oh, wait. That is my old tier list. Let's create a new one. Spider-Man. That's the right phrase, right, Andrew?
Mm-hmm.
All right, create the tier list. Easy.
With the hyphen.
Dude, if you don't have the hyphen, it's not spelled correctly.
Yeah,
Correct.
it's Spider-Man if it's without the hyphen.
Do you know why they put the hyphen in there?
Copyright, I think.
They didn't want people to mistake him for Superman. Like when you read it.
Oh, when you read it, yeah.
Because that actually happened with early issues. They mistakenly called him Superman. Like it got through the lettering phase. And his name was also Peter Palmer for a hot minute. As in like one issue. They mistakenly called him that.
Is he related to now Robert Palmer, the musician?
Yeah, he's addicted to love.
Simply irresistible. Yeah.
See, we could go back and forth all day, man. Because I'm into that kind of stuff. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? Oh, I like the rank them right there. Let's do. We're gonna do them not alphabetically. That'd be stupid. Chronologically, I'm gonna start with the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man on a scale of S to D tier. So I'm gonna put the original Spider-Man film.
Are you going to share your screen with that?
I'm going to try to see if this works without me making an account. As soon as I got into this, I went, oh, shit. It wants me to make an account, and I don't have one yet.
Got it.
So we'll see if this works. Because if it does work, we'll take a quick break. You guys can chat with the people for a second. I think it works. Does it work? I think it works. Yeah, it works. All right. So, Andrew, script. Here's the question. Does this goodwill translate to Avengers box office? I just need a second to get this together.
No.
So Spider-Man films have never translated into overall MCU, trickle down success. It just doesn't happen. Spider-Man is universal. People love Spider-Man regardless of how the cinematic universe that he's attached to is doing. They don't all of a sudden show up in droves for whatever the next one is. Nobody, despite the fact that I didn't much care for it, No Way Home did gangbusters. Nobody was showing up in droves to go see Madam Web or Morbius or Craven.
Dude,
People didn't care.
Supergirl made less than Morbius.
Yeah, I know. And that is really pathetic.
It's sexist, guys. Come on now.
Guess just nobody gave a damn about that movie.
Dude, let's just be honest. Nobody cares about that character. Like, I know there's a fandom for all these characters, but not when I say nobody, I mean not enough people care about these characters to make a multi-$100 million investment financially successful.
I think you could have done
that
that
more
with
accurate?
Supergirl, to be honest. So I'm going to push back a little bit. I think you could have done that with Supergirl, but not as the second film in your cinematic universe.
Actually, I don't think the order matters. The fact of the matter is that, because Andrew, you're right. There is something interestingly juicy and in a good contrast with Supergirl versus Superman. And while I would argue what was on the page of the script for Supergirl, there was no cohesive translation from what it was on the page to what it needed to be on film.
Sorry, I'm setting this up, or else I'd love to respond.
No, that's okay. Again, you're dealing with someone who the contrast, and it's an easy one, is Clark does not grow up with any Kryptonian culture. He has no knowledge of it as well. He's as authentically human as anyone else. But Kara has that whole society that she got to see, and she got to see it destroyed around her. And to explore what that does to a person is very interesting. And while they did go with the true grit trope of her being an alcoholic, I mean, she's only really drunk and inebriated for that first 15 minutes of the film, and then she's fighting a hangover and then sober for the rest of the movie. The fact of the matter is that they don't really explore it in the best contrast. And then on top of that, you have a very underwhelming villain. And a superhero is only as popular and as good as the villain that they face. And when you have a villain in that film that's got 18 minutes of screen time and maybe a dozen lines overall, and everybody else is talking about how bad are the things that they do, and we barely get to see the bad things that they do, it just does not make for a cathartic ending when Supergirl finally starts, throwing down and being a hero. because it just doesn't feel like there's any chance of failure to elicit drama from us watching that, because we don't feel the threat of the villain. And then contrastly, like with Spider-Man Brand New Day, the villain in this is really interesting because it can be anyone. It's got that Invasion of the Body Snatcher aspect to it. And it has, odds that make you go, oh, could Spider-Man really be defeated by this person or by this situation? And I think it nails it quite well and effectively. And that's why I think people are able to see it, because listen, I always have to push back on the ideas like, oh, well, you open up Superman and he got his butt kicked. It's like, have you never read or seen the cover of many of the Superman comic books where he's like on his knees being killed by kryptonite or nearly defeated on the brink of death from one of his villains? And it's entirely designed to make you open the book to read how did he get that situation. And it's a classic trope of like, oh, you understand this guy's invulnerable, but how is he actually bleeding? Like, if he's supposed to be invulnerable, I have to find out how he did that. That's appealing to curiosity. But you do have those pundits out there saying, no, we want to see him a hero. It's like, well, yeah, we do. So you have to wait for us to see that. And we get a couple moments of it. It's not well cut together. It's over edited, but it's there. And it's a very comic booky gimmick design. And then contrastly with Brand New Day, we do get a lot of stuff where Peter Parker is being the superhero he is at the expense of his own identity as Peter Parker. And it's fun and it's cool, but you also have to remember, like, he does fail a lot in that film.
And I think we need to see a hero fail, fall, or die trying, as they say in Spider-Man movies.
In order for the victory to feel just as sweet, yeah, you got to see him lose a couple times.
Absolutely.
And learn from those mistakes and persevere.
I have a friend, good dude, love him to death, but he always complains about certain things in movies, and I say, Joel, if that happened, there's no conflict and there's no story. So, no, Superman wouldn't avoid every punch ever, because it would make no sense in a story. I think it's fun to geek out in the movie theater or the comic book store, but we got to remember, like, when you're making a movie, it's got to make sense. It just can't be like, oh, hey, the pink kryptonite's here.
Yeah.
I am related to Chick Hicks. Somebody in the chat asked. Yes, that's my favorite vehicle I own as well. So, folks, here we have it here. The official WCBS Spider-Man ranking system. So I'm going to go ahead and rank these, and I'm going to tell you why I ranked them this way. So just 1 second, and we will start now. Okay, so folks, here we go. Here's the official WCBS Spider-Man tier listing, and we're going to do it in order of theatrical release. Now, obviously, first we have the Sam Raimi Spider-Man from 2002. I'm not going to go too far into this, but this is an S tier movie. As I always said here on the show, this movie is very important to me. Why? Because it made me want to make comic books. When other people were talking about this movie and how they were excited, I all of a sudden picked up how to draw comics the Marvel way, and I started picking up books on comic books themselves, and I was really focused on the creation of this stuff. So Spider-Man definitely is an important film to me, and that's why it's got to be S tier. Then we're following it up with Spider-Man 2, another S tier film. It's Spider-Man 2. It's the standard for many people. Some people say Dark Knight is the reference point for great superhero films. I say Spider-Man 2 is the
Spider-Man 2 is a better comic book adaptation film.
I think it's a better adaptation. I think it's a better movie. I think it has a more realistic moral center that more people can relate to. And at the end of the day, I think it's got more entertaining performances from everyone. Alfred Molina all the way down to even Ursula. So I love this movie. It is very, very great to me. But its follow-up, Spider-Man 3, if the D list is the lowest this can go, I'm going to put this on the D list. I don't think Spider-Man 3 is a very good film at all. And I'm not going to apologize for it. Now, Script, I got your back. What do you think of my ranking so far for this trilogy?
Oh, it's fantastic. Because as I mentioned earlier, like Dr. Octopus was a proper sympathetic villain. Like, you completely understand his strife, what he was trying to do, how he was trying to achieve it, and then his fall to madness and trying to execute that. Yeah, Spider-Man 3, my God. That is basically just throw everything in the bucket and see and just give it to the audience and hope that they like it type of thing. Because it was a lot of too much all at once. And it ended up stalling the franchise, sadly, and causing for a reboot. So yeah, that's definitely a D-list, tier list film.
All right, so I'm going to keep up with some D-list films. The Amazing Spider-Man, released in 2012. I saw this in theaters. I did not like this when I saw this in theaters. I was so disappointed in the fact that we were close to Spider-Man 4. They had announced what it was going to be about to some degree. We knew when it was going to film, and then this one comes out. And I know some people like it. I am not one of those people. And it's a film that I saw once in theaters. I had a patron request that we watch it together. And then I told myself, unless there's a work-related thing, I'll never watch this movie again. So that's why it's going to hang out at the bottom of my list, because I never want to watch it. I never want to think about it. But somehow its sequel is worse. And we don't have a lower tier than D. So The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is at the bottom of that list. Andrew, I know you love it. Script, you're not a fan of that series, correct?
No, I'm not a fan of anything that Alex Kurtzman's name is on. So,
hey, fair point. I don't think I like it either, or like his work either. So now that we have the original Spider-Man movies pre-MCU out of the way, up next, keeping this chronological, would be 2017 Spider-Man Homecoming, which some people like. I would probably put it at a C. To me, it's Iron Boy Jr. A lot of the critiques that you've heard ad nauseum bothered me when that movie came out. Went and saw it in theaters. It was clearly for the younger generation, so I just said what I had to say on the channel. I picked it up for $2, but it's another Spider-Man film I don't really ever feel the need to watch. Doesn't mean it's terrible, but I do think on an A to F scale of a school grade, it's a C film. It's solid. It's serviceable. It might be your introduction to Spider-Man, and hey, more power to you. But to me, it just is fine. Now, up next, chronologically, we would get the Into the Spider-Verse film. And I did not want to like this movie because I don't like Miles Morales, but I watched it and I was pleasantly surprised. And so I'm going to give it a B. It's not an A-list film. It's solid, but it's not great to me. Script, Andrew, anything you guys would like to say about these so far?
No, I think you're on point. My hands are full right now, so I can't do much at the moment.
Oh, no, you're good. Keep those hands full, man. We know you're making some important stuff. Andrew, anything you'd like to add?
I obviously I don't disagree with the Spider-Man 1 and 2's placement. I don't disagree with Homecoming's placement. I disagree with everything else so far.
Good. Now wait till you see.
But I think we expected that.
Oh, good, of course. Controversy creates cash, and conflict creates interesting YouTube. So
I'll give the quick and dirty version of my ranking after you're done.
All right. So up next is Spider-Man Far From Home. I had to think about this movie because I don't normally think about this movie. So I'm going to put this right here with the first film in the franchise. C. Now, again, I picked it up because it was really cheap and I've never watched it again. And I like the twist with J. Jonah Jameson, but overall, I still think this movie's pretty forgettable. I mean, look at my favorite character. He's not having the best in terms of best to worst films. I mean, he's got more bad to mid than good to great so far. So this one doesn't really do anything outside of a few visual scenes that I like. I'm really not interested in watching My Summer Vacation Spider-Man. I don't care about high school drama. Again, it's not really for my age range, but it's my money. I paid for it and I spent my time on it. So those are my critiques. Now, I believe up next is Spider-Man Far From Home, which is the closeout of that trilogy. And a film that I liked. I remember seeing it in theaters. I was clapping and hooting and hollering with the rest of you people in the theater. Seeing Tobey Maguire come back made my week. I like the movie. I don't love the movie, but I think it's good enough to own. But I'm still going to give it a B because it has been called a third act winner. I do think the third act is where the movie shines. I think it's a movie where it's nostalgia and an emotional connection over necessarily the story, but it doesn't matter. People like it, and that's what is important. And that's why, I like it. It's just fine. Now, the next film in the list was Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and I didn't like this movie. For as much as I liked the first one and I thought it was a solid film, this one frustrated me. It had too many Spider-Man cameos and not enough of a story. Again, it is a kid's film, but again, I spent real adult human monies on it, and I'm going to give it a C. It just kind of lives there. I don't love it. And now, before I give the final ranking of where the new Spider-Man's going to go, anything that you guys want to add, and I'm going to check in with the audience.
I haven't seen the second Spider-Verse film because I had no interest after seeing the first.
Well, it's not as good as the first one, so I hope you're okay with that. All right, so final Spider-Man movie to close out the ranking for tonight. Keep this thing brief. So I liked it more than I liked most Spider-Man movies. I like it almost as much as I like these two, but I got to give it an A. I'm sorry. Like an A is a bad grade. But this movie hit all the notes that I wanted it to hit. I am a Spider-Man guy. I'll go a little further than say your normal Spider-Man fan because I read the books. I read about who makes the books, all that stuff. That interests me. Not necessarily the time he went to this universe to cross over and fight some symbiote on Alpha Beta UV 426 or whatever. Just, I like the character for many reasons. And this movie captured that. This movie got me excited. Like, remember how I told you guys the end of the last one got me excited for the next one? Well, the next one came and the next one was good. And now I'm excited to see where the next one goes because it's not there's a post-credit sequence that basically ties into the Avengers, but they didn't foreshadow what we're doing like with Oscorp at the end of The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So it feels good again to leave my favorite fictional superhero in a good place. I don't have to wait forever to find out what's going to happen next because, we get that at the end of the year. But if it takes 3 years to make a Spider-Man movie of this level, I can wait 3 years. Would I like to see one every other year? If they're this good, yes. It's a comic book character. These are serialized stories. Another adventure chapter in the adventures of X. So, yeah, you can't saturate too much of a good thing. Like, seriously, if you're making something quality, people are going to show up. So I want more of this level, and I'll be very happy. That's what I get. So
I think that's a good list. Yeah.
Thank you. I just I wanted to hear what you guys think. I try to keep things fair. I don't like to blindly buy into hype, but this is what I think. So, folks, for those listening that aren't looking, D-tier list films are Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 1, and Amazing Spider-Man 2. C-tier films are Spider-Man, Far From Home, Spider-Man Homecoming, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Into the Spider-Verse. No, Across. They sound similar. B-tier, the first Spider-Verse film, and Spider-Man No Way Home. A-list, The New Spider-Man, Brand New Day, and S-tier, Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2. It's kind of hard to top, close to perfection. So, guys, we covered the film. We covered the ranking. Is there anything else that I've missed over the last week? And what are the other big pop culture stories outside of Spidey? I mean, are people still going on about I almost call it the Acolyte. The Odyssey, is that still a thing?
I'm sure some people are still going on about it, but I mean, that's kind of a YouTube trend where we got to talk about the same thing for 6 to 8 months on that.
Is the horse dead yet?
Is the horse? Oh, I'm sure the horse is definitely dead. They didn't even put wheels on the damn thing. Instead, we laid it in the wet sand because that made all the sense in the world. I'm not gonna keep talking about that, buddy.
I haven't watched it, so
You
I
missed
fell asleep. So.
nothing. Mary and I were so underwhelmed.
yeah,
Not even mad, just underwhelmed. Like we spent how many hours watching this? At least we suffered together, I guess.
Well, the important part is that you suffered.
Yeah.
So, no, I've been away for a couple days, folks. I'm trying to play catch up, but we have videos in production already. I've been home a few hours, but we already got the ball rolling. So, if you like comic book entertainment, well, check out other videos here on the channel, like our Marvel videos from last week. But if you like the source material that stuff's based off, comic books, graphic novels, and such, well, make sure you go to stealingsolo.com after tonight's show. You can pick up the work I've created. There's Stealing Solo 1, that's our big hit. There's Stealing Solo, The Power of the Farce, which is brand new. We're getting ready to start the advertising campaign for that, and I'm very excited because somebody I know is at the center of it. And then the new one's in production. But we also have Woke Busters, we have Tits and Art, and we have all kinds of other world-class entertainment headed your way. Written and drawn by me, all human. So, guys, I think we're going to call this one at about 2 hours. It's been a nice, neat stream to get back into the flow of things. Folks, we'll be back on Thursday with WCBS 498 on the road to 500. Give me that episode. I know, right? I can't believe it's been that long.
That's crazy.
I know. But are we all good? Have we covered everything?
I think we hit it all. Yeah.
All right. So, folks, thank you for watching. We'll be back next time with more. Until then, be smart, be safe, be cool. You too, Ross, you rock as well. But always be excellent to each other.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name?
My name is Jeff.